I'm Delta Work, and it's time for a new episode of Very Delta. Today we're playing Truth or Darienne, because Darienne Lake is here. But first, do you want to see me go off? Because I think you want to see me go off!
Oh. Mom!
Are you a lady like me? Introspective, beautiful. Oh, are you intellectual like me? Beguiled by a bargain? You like wild times? Oh, like me? Are you serving the community like me? Well, if you are, then you must be very Delta. I'm Delta Work, and this is Very Delta, a luxury public access podcast and YouTube talk show where I look gorgeous, speak extemporaneously, and invite fascinating people to sit on the couch and get very Delta. Very Delta's for the woman who always has time for a toe ring. But first, let's get into some things that are very Delta. Go off, Delta! I think it's time we talk about receipts. And I'm not talking about the kind of receipts that you say that you're going to pull out to like prove your friend wrong or show them something that happened or some secretive tryst that someone had or some proof of you being right and them being wrong. I'm not talking about that like sort of like fantastical idea of a receipt. I'm talking about an actual printed receipt of a transaction. You know, like the kind that pops out at CVS and just keeps rolling out over and over and over. Or the kind that you get that on the back says like, call in for a survey and win a free jumbo jack. Or maybe you get a receipt that says on there, turn this in and you can get $5 off your admission somewhere. Those receipts used to always come at the end of every transaction, not just as a proof of the transaction, but sometimes as a reason for you to return. Because again, a coupon, some sort of survey. Not too long ago, it was like a policy wherever you went. There would even be like a printed out sign at a drive-thru that would say, if you don't get your receipt, call this number or ask for the manager because we want to give you X, Y, and Z. And obviously the reason for those receipts is because not only do they want to prove that a transaction took place, and so you have that so that you can say, this is what I ordered, this is what I got kind of thing. The idea behind that is also, it is a way to retain the customer because you're going to flip it over and it's going to say, again, free car wash. At a lot of grocery stores, they'll have like advertisements on the back of them. A car wash or a dry cleaning service or something. Businesses in the area that you might want to support so the money stays in that community. But at a chain place like a restaurant, it used to be a thing where the employee sort of got reprimanded if they did not give the receipt. I feel like somewhere just before the pandemic or during the pandemic, during that 2020, 2021 time possibly, maybe because of not wanting to interact with people and touch, things became a lot more touchless or whatever. But as we've returned to cash basis transactions as an option, receipts are like no longer a thing. Like receipts are no longer a thing. You have to sort of ask for it and become sort of almost troublesome when you do ask for it or when it's being offered. So for instance, if I drive through somewhere and I hand my card and they take the card, obviously that's no longer a touchless interaction, right? They've already taken the card, so they had to touch me. So what they will say is, here's your card and close the window. But sometimes they'll say, you don't want your receipt, did you? And there's nothing I hate more than an interaction when somebody already assumes that I didn't want to do something or I did want to do something. So they just put it out there as part of the interaction. Like, you didn't want sauce, did you? Not, what sauces can I get for you? Is there anything else I can get for you? It's, you didn't need your receipt, did you? And of course, I do need my receipt for several reasons. Number one, I always save my receipts because my mother uses this app called Fetch. And if you put in your receipts, whatever transactional records that you have available to you, you can win Amazon gift cards. So if however many points it takes to get to that point, they'll say, oh, you won a $10 Amazon gift card. Now do it again. Well, you can just keep banking those on Amazon. And you now, anytime you want to make a purchase, whether it's big or small, you can either apply it to that purchase, or you can just make maybe one small purchase. Maybe you can say, I just wanted to buy, I don't know, a lip pencil that's $7 or something. Well, that becomes free. Utilizing this is also the reason that they have this app. The reason they have this app, obviously, is data research. They want to know who's buying what, where they're buying it, how often they're buying it there. And, they're not necessarily tracking you as a person. They're tracking the demographic of that area. It looks like people in this area buy boots a lot, or it looks like the people in this area seem to be spending a lot of money at an organic store versus a 99-cent store, for instance. So that's kind of what happens with that. That's why these receipts are so important to me. So whenever I am driving through somewhere or I'm at a store, I want them. I want them for a million reasons. I also work as an independent contractor. As an independent contractor, I have to do my taxes. And when I do my taxes, I have things that I write off and things that I don't write off. When I purchase props, when I purchase wardrobe, costumes, cosmetics, all of those things go to my job. And all of those things can be written off in a category for that job. Whenever I travel, I need a documentation and a record of where I was, how long I was there, what I paid for, what parking I paid for. For some people, it's not that big of a deal to go, oh, this is $5. It's not that big of a deal. It is a big deal if you say do that 10 times in a month. If you parked somewhere for $5 10 times in a month, I bet you, if I told you just to give me $50 out of nowhere, that would be a problem for you, because you would be like, well, why do I need to give you $50? Well, if I'm paying individually for that, for me, that's a way for me to sort of line up my expenses, make sense of why I'm spending the money the way that I'm spending my money, and how to write it off for taxes. So the government knows this is why I make the money I make, and this is where that money goes. These receipts, it just seems so strange too that the switch is so severe. It used to be, we're going to reward you if we didn't give you a receipt. Now it's like shifted completely to, not only are we not going to offer the receipt, we're going to give you an attitude problem if you ask for one. But what's the big deal? Like, what? It's going to print out anyway. It's not going to make the transaction any faster for you to print out the receipt and hand it to somebody. I don't know if this is like saving like paper or something. I don't know if it's like, maybe I'm not seeing the bigger picture, and it's like, well, we want our employees to do this, that, or the other. Well, the hamburger is cooking. The hamburger is cooking. So, if it's going to take, 1.4 seconds for that to print out, of the receipt to print out, wouldn't you be better off just giving the receipt than going through this whole conversation about, do you need a receipt? Oh, you don't need a receipt. Oh, let me go print it for you. This gruff, groaning. Oh, I can't believe I have to give you a receipt. This is just so difficult. You're being so difficult to ask for a receipt. Is it that hard? How about you just give the receipt because you want a transaction record? Or is there something like behind this? It's like this is the reality that more often than not, you're going to fuck up the order or fuck up what somebody purchased, and you don't want them to have a documentation of what they fucking ordered. Is that what it is? I don't know. It could be, could not be. I mean, first world problems, but that's what we do here. I think we should go back. I don't want to be rewarded because you didn't give me a receipt. Like, I don't need to be able to call a number and be like, they didn't give me a receipt. I want some free French fries. I don't want that. I just want you to give me a receipt. Like, just default into, let me give you a record of this transaction that's going to print out anyway, or at least it used to. Now maybe they want to save paper and they can't. So just give people a receipt. I say just give them a receipt. Just give them a receipt and let them decide if they want to crumple it up, throw it away, or put it away for their taxes, or give it to their mom so they can get Amazon gift cards, or whatever it is. Let's just give people a receipt without all the fucking hassle. You know, my fantasy in this kind of interaction, I'm going to place it in the drive-through because that's really where the transactions matter to me. That's really where I sort of gauge what's going on. That's how I put my finger on the pulse of what's happening in the world. Is really what's happening in the drive-through. You really get to interact with people who are just getting off of work or just getting started on work. You get people who maybe are shift changing in there and people who just had somebody shitty work with them. That's where I can really gauge myself as how I interact as a customer and how the person in there is going to really take each person as their own transaction. I want my receipt. You see, I want my straw. I want somebody to repeat to me, oh, did you order this item? So this is how it needs to happen. I need to go up. They need to open their window and they need to, generally this is how we're going to turn it around. They're going to open the window and they're going to go, 1174. And then I'm going to go, oh, hello. Thank you so much. And I hand them the card and then they slam the door. And then I want them to open the door and realize that I was being nice. And I want them to print out the receipt and the card and hand them both to me together. And I want them to say, thank you so much. Can I get you any sauces for your order? And I'm going to say, oh, thank you. I'm fine. And then they can close that window again because I don't want to see any more gnats get inside. And they'll close that window and they'll come back. And then I want them to say, you have the number 4 with large curly fries and a large Diet Coke. And I'll say yes. And they'll say, is there anything else I can get for you? And I say, no, thank you. They say, thank you very much. And then that's it. That's it. I feel like exhausting that amount of effort is the same as slamming the door and breathing hard and not listening. And because listen, these people have somebody in their ear, they have somebody at the counter, and then they have you, and then they have the food. So I understand there's 4 conversations going on, but having to go through the effort of sort of shaming someone for needing a receipt, or also too that, you know, I've talked about this before, the idea of me wanting to check the order. Sometimes they say the receipt's in the bag and there is a slip of paper in the bag with a transaction record, but all it is the packing slip. It's not really a receipt. It's a piece of paper that says chicken sandwich, French fries, Diet Coke is sitting in there. The transaction record comes from that's what a receipt is. It's a receipt is a record of a transaction of money that has changed hands, whether it's digital money or Apple Pay, or well, maybe not Apple Pay, but it's a record of a cash transaction. Debit card is a cash transaction, a credit card. It documents that. That's not, a packing slip is different. So just because the kitchen put a slip in there, they're giving that record to the person at the window to say, here's what's supposed to be in that bag. And now you need to give me a record of what prints out that says, not only is this what's in the bag, this is how much you paid, and this is how you paid for it. That's what I need. That's what I need every time. When I go to a place like a restaurant, a chain restaurant or a Subway or any of those places, a lot of them now have the iPad. So you go to a coffee place, they might have those. Subway has them, but even like a Chili's, a lot of places have those where you just do your own transaction. But it'll often have the thing where it says print receipt, email receipt, no receipt. I need the receipt printed. I absolutely need it printed. Well, no receipt is not an option to me. I guess I could get it emailed, but I'm not going to go home and print it out. So I really do need that printed. And this leads me to sort of another area, again, with receipts that's super, super important to me. I need to know why when you go to 7-Eleven, not only is there not an offer of a receipt, there is a pile of receipts this tall next to the register, because as soon as they finish the sale, it prints one out on a perforated edge. And they're just piled up over and over and over and over. And I just think, like, why can't you just, if you're not going to give it to somebody, wouldn't you want to just rip it off and throw it in the trash then? Because why would you want that mess there? Also, maybe I should be going to 7-Eleven and asking, like, maybe I should be going to 7-Eleven and asking, can I just have all those receipts? Like, my mother would go wild if I gave her all of those receipts. And another time when it's so fucking painful when you want a receipt, especially with gas, because I can write off fuel for certain things, not everything, but every once in a while I can when I have a rental car. Why do the pumps sometimes or consistently say See cashier for receipt. Bitch, I don't want to walk in there and have to stand in line behind everybody in there who's making a transaction because you didn't want to put any paper in there. You want to print it out inside. Pay for the paper, please. Pay for the paper for the receipt. I don't want to see cashier. I don't want to ever deal with the cashier unless I'm going in for a soda or, a bag of wavy Funyuns, which you should try the wavy Funyuns. They're very correct. I shouldn't have to go back in. If you have the ability to print right here, why are you, what's happening? What's happening in here? What happens in here that doesn't go to here, doesn't go to here, doesn't go to here? I'm confused. Like why this, there's a lot of moving parts, but there's not that many moving parts. Start ordering some more printer paper, some more receipt paper. Start ordering it. We need these receipts. Do you want to see me take a break? Because I think you want to see me take a break.
Coming up, Darienne Lake gets very Delta. That's the T.
I am ready to fucking blow. I'm ready not for a glow up, but a blow up. Welcome back. I am so excited. This day has been looming. It had to happen. She made it all the way across the entire country just to be here for this specific exact moment when I needed her most. She is one of the funniest, most sarcastic, sardonic, but with a full heart of love. The one and only Darienne Lake is here.
Oh, hello. I'm so excited to be here as well. The planets have aligned and the moon is in the perfect phase. So I'm excited. I've been such a fan of this show.
I love you. And I know that you know that. I find you to be truly one of the most. What's interesting is like you take everything that you do very seriously, but you don't take yourself seriously. And that doesn't mean I think a lot of people think when people are self-effacing or sarcastic or whatever, that they really hate themselves. And that's not the case. Like, yeah, there's parts of us that we don't like or whatever. But you truly are such a confident person. And have you always been that person?
No, I haven't. No, like there's so many years that I was just like dogging on myself and just like hating myself because I was like, oh, I hate my body. I hate the way I look. And I would look at like gorgeous, muscly men and think like, oh, do I want to be like that? Am I envious or jealous of that or whatever? Or is it just me not liking myself or whatever? Mm-hmm. And then I realized, at some point that liking yourself has nothing to do with how you look. It's about liking who you are as a person. Like I like myself as a person. Like I like that I'm funny and crazy and sarcastic, and I can be a little too much at times, but who can't,
Yeah,
So,
no.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what did you say about hot, sexy men?
Oh, yeah.
You like them.
Well, yeah, because like when I was a little kid, the whole confusion about being gay, I was like, I don't know if I'm attracted to that because I want to be gay or if I'm attracted to that because I want to look like that. Mm-hmm. And even to this day, like I'm still fascinated by people who look nothing like me or act like nothing like me, like straight bro culture. I just think is so fascinating to me because I'm like, what goes on in their head? And like, how can I understand these people? Like I'm a mall, like, people watcher. I like to sort of study people and mimic them. And I don't know if that's part of like, because I'm a little cuckoo.
You've been doing drag for a long time, so you might know what goes on, maybe not in their head, but on their head. You are, there's certain men like a woman who looks soft, who looks delicate.
Yeah.
And then
there's
you've always presented that.
Oh.
So what happens in Rochester? What happens in Albany?
I know. Well, yeah. In the upstate Western New York. Yeah, I learned a long time ago as well that there's guys who do react to it and they love like a strong, confident, dominant woman and stuff. And so they like to be put in their place as well.
They do.
They sometimes want to be the little spoon and, they're too afraid to say it. Or, when they get their ass tickled, they're like, this feels good. And and they're like, oh, well, maybe I want something in there. Is that gay? I don't know if that's gay, but maybe if I just find a lady with a penis, she can tickle the hell out of it. And then they come knocking on my door. And
how long have you been doing drag?
Since I was 18 years old. Yeah.
Okay. So 20 years?
Yeah, 20. 30 years.
Okay.
So, or 32 years or something. Yeah. 1990 was when I started doing drag.
Wow.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, like, when like, 'cause especially now, like there's a new generation of queens that, and well, I guess we've seen a couple of new generations of queens.
Oh my God.
But there's many that like might be surprised if they hear me like singing along to a lyric and they're like, how do you know that song, or why do you know that song, or why? And
This
I tell
is the
them,
fourth remake of it.
yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly it. And I always say to them, like, I've been many women. And they're like, what does that mean? And like all the older queens will be like, we are not always the same people. That like, we were younger before too.
Yeah.
And we had, what are they called? We felt our oats, as Gia Gunn would say.
And that's the thing about Gia, is that like on when I first met her and all that, she was sort of like, oh, this old queen and whatever, this big lady, whatever. I guess there's room for everybody, which was, of course, body shaming shade or whatever. But I don't give a fuck because I'm happy with who I am. But then when we finally got to talk, and I used to tell her like, oh, girl, I was pulling trade up until last week and like, having fun and partying and all that stuff or whatever. And she's like, oh, and so then we started to get along,
right?
And and all that stuff. And then she left.
And then she left.
Bye. See ya.
But yeah, I know it's true. It's like we when you look at things with these eyes, like I've done that, or I did that, or I will do that, or it's not just drag that you're seasoned in. There was a time coming up, I feel like, when being a quote female impersonator was like that was the goal. It was like how realistic are you? So realistic that are, quote unquote straight men that desire that. Yeah. Because we have to give this sort of heightened femininity. Yeah. That they're not seeing.
I think a lot of like older gay men as well sometimes watch TV shows and like, she ain't got no boobs, she ain't got no nails, she's got a beard on. Like, what happened to the good old days of drag? But it's like, things are evolving and there's more, out there for people. But then there are some of us who are like, I like to look like this, if you like it, cool. If not, okay. Fuck off.
Do you know about Delta Lake?
I do know about Delta Lake. Yes, of course. I have listened to. She is us.
She is us.
We are Delta Lake.
My question is, if there was a Delta Lake and she was a combination of the two, what's her drag? What would her drag be, and what would she look like? How would she be any different from us?
Oh my God, I know.
Or what's
that's
the best
thing.
parts?
I think about that. Oh, the best parts of us is always so put together from top to bottom and having every last detail and meticulous. And of course, I'm talking about you.
Stop it.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Continue.
Yeah, of course. But then also Delta Lake, one of my favorite parts of you is your vocabulary and your way to talk and your thinking and your writing. For me, I'm like in small doses of like, I can put this together and string a couple of words together or something like that.
You're so fast, though. God damn, you're fast with coming back
That's the only time I've ever been described as fast, but thank you. Yeah. So, usually they're like, oh, haul ass. It's still going to take 2 trips.
Right. It happens.
Yeah. But there's so much that fires in my brain at once that, like, I guess some people, the jokes just are gone. But that's also, I think, what Delta Lake would have too, this spontaneity and all that. And like there's, what's the word that you say in the beginning of your opening and stuff that I'm just like, let me look this fucking word up. She can't just say like,
extemporaneously.
Yes,
that's a fun word.
Off the cuff, right? That means off the cuff?
Extemporaneously has several meanings. One is gorgeous and beautiful only. Okay. Also to thin is extemporaneous. Yeah. Also, it has a lot to do with the Postal Service, which I don't know that whole part of it, but it's one of those. It's 3 things. Right. I think when I think of the two of us, I think of the things that I admire about you that I wish I had, and one of those is I think it's fine and it's easy for a lot of people. A lot of us say like, "Oh, my friends are funny. My friends are funny," but you have this ability. And I know you do like comedy at the Carlson. I left Drag Race, obviously, in the like comedy challenge, which, as we both know, everything about being on a reality show it has to tell a story. So there has to be a reason why you're seeing what you're seeing. It's not 100%. It's always an edited thing. But I will say, regardless, what was said came off as not funny. So then what happens is I now have like opportunities where people are like, oh, we've got some queens doing stand-up. You should join us. And I've never been able to do it because I'm so scarred from that that I think it is impossible for me to do that.
Yeah.
And when I watch you do it, because I just saw a clip of you and I was like, this is so funny. And what makes it so funny is that not only is it just blatantly funny, it's dangerous. And there's so many people in here that are fucking uncomfortable because they want to laugh so hard,
and
but they feel like they shouldn't.
Yeah, like my favorite thing in the world is, and the favorite reaction is, oh, which is like you laughed first, so we're all in the same bus down to hell. Like there was one time we were doing a drag brunch and we were having a good time, and I'm like, oh, anybody celebrating anything? She's like, oh, I'm getting married. I'm like, oh, shotgun wedding, huh? And her friends start laughing, and she's like, actually, I am pregnant. I was like, oh, I didn't know. It's not like you're showing her anything. I'm like, when's the baby due? And she's like, September 11th. And I was like, you couldn't have said the 12th or the 13th. You have to pick the worst fucking day in history. Now when you have a baby and you got to feed it and you're like, here comes the airplane. It's going to fucking...
Fuck.
Yeah. So
see, this is what I'm talking about.
The audience went, oh! And I was like, it was... Yeah. But for some reason, my brain was like, yeah, spit it out. Who cares what happens afterwards? You know, it's like... And so so I was like, oh, okay. And people are too far, too much. So...
But we're... Like, do you ever deliver a joke that you think everyone's going to find so funny and they don't? Like, how do you come back from that?
I know that happens too. So
how do you come back from it?
Sometimes you just die and just you let it happen. Fuck. And you're just like, and that's the thing too, is like a lot of the comedians will say like, if you just go out and have a successful set all the time, you've learned nothing. You have to die. You have to get heckled. You have to do all that stuff. And I think you do have to get over that fear. Like, I'm terrified. A lot of times I'm nervous. I'm like, people have heard these jokes already. They're going to be like, ugh, whatever, and step on your punchlines or whatever. But you got to get over that. It's like, what does it say about brave people? They're terrified too. What makes them brave is they do it. Even though they're scared. So, and you go through it and you just practice and yeah.
It's exciting watching you do it. It really, really is.
You can do it. I believe in you. I know that you can do it.
Do you write material for other people?
I do. I do. Like I was fortunate enough to get asked for somebody who was doing an all-star season to write a bunch of things for them. And all but 2 of them made it on air. And got big laughs and everything. Good. So I was very excited to do that for them. And in a way, I sort of gave them so much more stuff about their own life that they could use for their own show or comedy or whatever. So yeah.
Nice.
And then they were talking to another contestant who then told somebody else, who told a friend. They contacted me. And I still get offers and whatever. But sometimes I feel like I'm going to run the well dry and be like, what else can we come up with, to make fun of people or situations or life or,
When you're writing for someone else, is it like, do you have to kind of look at what they do and then how that would fit them? Or are you inspired by like
for
movies?
Sure. And like, I am... Everything inspires me, really. And even just language inspires me. When we were sitting there doing the haters roast and like I was looking at Willem and I was just like, yeah, you were disqualified and all that stuff, but you still have come so far down your leg from your loose asshole, you know, like, so just, you sort of create like from language and things. And
it's your poker face too, though. Like you don't even crack, like. It's your actressing.
Oh, yeah.
It's actressing.
I'm sissy, damn it.
I love that.
So, yeah, and that's the thing, too. Like, I've loved, some of my favorite comedians were sort of those dry sort of people who give you that punchline and you have to wait for it. Like, Wendy Liebman was one of my favorites back in the day.
Yeah.
Watching her on Women of the Night and stuff. And I talked about that on Drag Race. And then she sent me a little message on Twitter like, oh, my God, thank you so much for that.
Are you ever in a crowd, like maybe maybe not necessarily a stand-up crowd, but like an MC crowd where I guess there's a little bit of sort of stand-up involved in an MC spot? Oh, yeah. Do you ever find that you're just like, there's nobody in the audience that's reacting?
Yeah.
How do you get out of that?
It is hard. Sometimes you just have to like stick through it and be like, all right, well, like I was able to film a comedy special, an hour-long comedy special. And some of the jokes or some of the references I was making, I was like, this is definitely 10 years older than these people in the audience. Mm-hmm. And so I just went through it. I'm like, okay, so you've never experienced this? Okay, maybe just me. Apparently I came from the gayest high school in the world, like, so because I was talking about high school wrestling and how the starting position. I don't know if you had to do wrestling in high
I
school.
did.
And like the most embarrassing thing is they line you up by weight class.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the twinks are on one end and and I'm like, I'll just go to the end. And they have to like, okay, you get paired up with you get paired up with you. And they made me pair up with the teacher because I was the only one in the same weight class. I was 13. And so, and they're like, oh, shirts against skins. So you have to like take your shirt off and be skins. And the first position, the one guy's on all fours.
Right.
So it's already gay. And the other one is behind him with his like dick on your ass and then arm wrapped around your waist and the other one on the other arm.
Right.
So I'm like, there I am in sweatpants, like 13 years old, trying not to get a boner with the coach. And I'm like, oh, it's the only time I've ever said, put me in coach.
Jesus Christ.
So then, it's like he flips you over on the mat and you're just like, oh, he's like, I won. I'm like, we both won. I'm loving this. I'm enjoying it. So yeah. But then some of the people are like, no, I've never experienced this in school. Like we didn't do that. And I'm like, okay, apparently it's new things, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess they won't do the whole shirts against skins thing anymore.
Do you wrestle still?
Yeah, wrestling with my healthy eating habits. I wrestle with the demons in my soul and in my head and in voices. And I wrestle with, with men sometimes. Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Greco-Roman mostly. So.
I love that. Let's take a break.
After the break, more Darienne Lake, plus the secrets of social media's biggest superstars.
And we are back. We are here with gorgeous, stunning, blonde bombshell, Darienne Lake. I love that ring. We both have a fascination with ball rings
Yes.
in a way.
Wonder Twin powers activate.
Yes. You have spent the last few years really focusing on the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Eating habits. Mm-hmm. And this is something that, I think a lot of people, myself included, it's scary. It's scary. And it's great when you see someone else that you've known who's always gone through those challenges through their life tackle something like that. What you're doing is like really setting an example for many people. What is that like? Like what brought you to that point where you were like, this is going to be important to me?
Yeah. I've always seen those other people who've lost, weight or whatever, or changed their lives or lifestyles or whatever. For me, it wasn't about losing weight at all. It was about having the pain not hurt in my knees. So the trainer is like, we'll do lots of squats. I'm like, I don't want to do squats. It hurts. He's like, yeah, but it'll get better. And you'll be able to like walk steps and not, bitch about shit anymore. And so that's what it was. And I'd always see the people who have these transformations and everything. And they're like, if I can do it, you can do it. And I'm like, oh, fuck you. I don't care. And that's why like when I first started, I started with a Groupon. I was like, there's not a huge commitment. I've already spent the money and, okay, I can be out $100. But then it just sort of, it clicked and, I'd been successful so many times in the past and then failed or went all the way back, had that pendulum swing back to, from losing a lot of weight to gaining it all back or whatever it was. And, it's like, you should have got the checkup from the neck up, and that's why I still have this, I don't know, it might even still be like a fear that I'm going to slip and fall and I'll go back to, I'll get right back up to 480 pounds and, and then be like, oh, well, fuck this. And figure out like, what was the root of my cause, my problem? Was it comfort? Was it sadness? Was it anxiety? Was it, all those things? Was it a tasty suicide? I was like, well, this is it for my life. I'm single. I have nothing to show for it, whatever. I guess this is just the way it is. And then you get to a point you're like, no, there's so much more out there. There's so many more things around the corner that, than the final whatever moment that you have. So, so that it's been a lot, and a lot of it, I had to learn the patience, because so many times you sit there and look on the scale or look in the mirror and you're like, ugh, and you get done working out as a fat person and now you're fat and sweaty And you're like, okay, now I just did something that's supposed to be good for me, but I look even worse. And I had to be like Dory in Finding Nemo, like just keep swimming, just keep at it. And then eventually you'll look and you'll be like, oh, okay. Because a lot of times I look in the mirror and I'm like, I still see 480 staring back at me, who is like just weighed down. Still the same person, still love me, love my life, but then just weighed down. So I needed to sort of get stronger. So for me, it was just about getting stronger. And so that's a great thing about my trainer. He's not like throwing me on a treadmill and be like, you know, do 5 hours of cardio. He's like, let's do weights. We're going to weightlift. We're going to deadlift. We're going to, you know, squats, all that stuff. So that's been so good to me. So that's what's working for me. Anything works for anybody else, you know. I love to eat, and you find yourself being like, okay, well, let me try and make better choices. But I still fuck up fucking pizza like crazy. So
the Groupon, is there one just for knees? Because I would like to just get the knees if I could just do that part.
I think so.
And not do any work.
Yeah.
That would be good for me, I think.
Yeah. Dirty knees. Look at
dirty knees. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a frightening thing too, because whenever we've been around for reality shows, not just the ones we've been on, but ones we watch. And I always watch like The Biggest Loser. And I'm like, oh, maybe if you dangled money in front of my face, I could do that.
Right.
But then I like see people immediately, like the first out the gate, they're like, you're not doing this unless you're vomiting and shitting yourself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to throw up. Like, can I work up to this? But then I think like, well, maybe that's not the culture. Maybe the culture is like, I feel like is the culture that you have to kind of be punished in front of people. Like, we want to see you throw up. We want to see like your clothes soaked, or else you're not doing what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You're not measuring up to what other people are doing.
Right. You're not working hard enough.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
It sounds like you're in a great space with somebody who like, you know, has realistic goals.
Yeah. Because the thing too is like, you know, we'll be working out and all that stuff or whatever. And he can tell, and he's like, you know, how's your heart rate doing? Because I have my like little, you know, Apple Watch, Fitbit, whatever on, my Apple Pie watch on.
Apple
Pie watch, fat fuck. And so, you know, he makes sure he's like, oh yeah, heart rate's good. We're doing this, whatever. Yeah. So,
I see, let me just set some goal. Like, these would be real goals. Knees would be real goals. You know what would be a lovely goal? To look at a very steep staircase.
Yeah.
And not, maybe like at least for half of it, not have to use a handrail.
Yeah. Exactly.
But I'm also old, 100%. So in my mind, I'm like, maybe it's just my balance too. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm the same way. It's sort of like, and then you find yourself doing like these little things, and you're like, okay, these are those non-scale victories that people talk about. Like, okay, I'm doing that. You know, it's like, or you're getting in your car and you drop your keys, and I would have to get out of the car to like find them, but now I can be like, oh, okay.
You don't have a driver anymore?
You know? No.
I see that. I see that why that is important for all of us. Yeah. For all of us. But, you know, I feel like, especially too, like in entertainment that we're in, people like to sort of categorize the girls. And so they'll be like, these are the big girls. These are the dancing girls. Yeah. These are the models. Mm-hmm. These are the this or that. And so within our category, because we've always been, you know, lumped together as sort of like, well, they're older, they're blonde, they're plus size. But even when our bodies were very similar and now our bodies are very dissimilar, even when they were similar, we were not this. We never looked like the same person. We had completely different features.
I know.
I was flattered because I was like, "Oh my God, she's my goddess!"
I feel the same
love
thing
it
too.
But I'm like, she looks different.
Yeah, and it's Delta Lake. There she is. I don't know which. Yeah. And we all constantly get tagged as each other, you know. And people are like, "Oh my God, Darienne, you were amazing last night in Long Beach." And I'm like, "Okay, thank you."
I got to that point though, and it still is that
100%.
Point where I'm like, "Okay, cool." Yeah. But I mean, now you're wearing Sonique's like prom dress, so I mean,
but the thing is, like,
I can't speak to you anymore.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like people love to compare you to something that they already love. So I think like maybe it's not an offensive thing. They're just like, oh, I love her too. She's just like you know. Like when people are constantly like, oh my God, you know, you remind me of my best friend, or you remind me of Minan, you know, whatever.
Which I love.
Yeah,
I do love that. I love it when people say like, oh, you know. And I've actually spotted it. I don't know if you've ever spotted this, but certainly in Southern California, there's a lot of like, obviously we have a huge Hispanic population, and I will have people that will say like, they'll they'll really quote unquote fan. And they'll be supportive and all of that. And then maybe one day I'll look on their Instagram and I'll see like their family and I'm like,
Yeah.
I see it. Your mom is like a plus size lady. She seems like she's like into having her hair done and stuff. It's nostalgic to them and it's a level of comfort.
Yeah.
So I always find it as so flattering because I think I remind you of somebody that makes you comfortable.
Yeah.
That is the hugest compliment you could give me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice for you to say like, God, you look like somebody I want to fuck. Well, that's great too. What a lovely compliment. But
yeah.
you're not telling me that, so I'll take the other one.
We'll play Thanksgiving. I'll grab each one of my breasts and
Oh my God.
or my ankles and stuff me like a turkey.
Oh my God.
I don't do that though.
You don't?
No, I don't know. I've tried to put things up in my butt, but my butthole's just like
It disagrees.
no, it's
It's not
ouch.
for. Have you heard of a side?
a side?
A side.
Oh,
There's a
like-
top, a bottom, and a side.
Oh, okay,
That's a new
yeah.
thing. I don't know if it's a new thing, but it's a new term. People that just don't enjoy that.
Yeah.
They just are not interested. And I think I mean,
Yeah.
who said what you have to do? You know
Right.
what I mean? Or
Yeah.
who said, I mean, we can have this conversation forever when people are like, this is more masculine than that. Or this is, if you're the bottom, you have to be, it's just weird.
Yeah. Nothing more masculine than taking a dick. I mean, that fucking hurts. Like,
That's kind of
you
what
know,
I
deal
think.
with the
Like,
pain.
didn't like the Greeks and the Romans, like, didn't they take on lovers? Like,
Yeah.
was that not like maybe not an exercise in masculinity in their mind? Maybe
Yeah.
I don't know. Wait,
There is a joke about that too.
Tell me.
Like there was I don't know if I can remember it all completely. We'll have to Google it or whatever, but to get it better. But it was like this Greek guy and a Roman, and they were talking about things. It's like, oh, well, the Greeks invented, architecture and stuff, and then the Romans like, yeah, but we decorate it with paintings and murals and all that stuff, and the Greek is like, yeah, well, we invented sex, and the Romans like, well, we introduced it to women. So that was sort of their,
yeah.
I don't know.
What kind of sandwich do you get at Subway if you had to go to Subway?
Okay, I would rather eat something I found in a Subway than at a Subway. Like, I don't fucking understand. It's gross.
Why?
When I smell the bread, that is not fresh baked bread smell. It is not. I don't know what kind of chemical they use. It just
Really?
It terrifies me. I'm like, it doesn't smell like fresh bread to me.
Really?
And I know what that is like because I have a yeast infection currently.
So you know.
And so
your
I
authority.
know what yeast smells like, and that's not it. And so, and those slimy fucking meats.
Okay, no meat. Okay, how about
Yeah.
this? If you had to pick a cookie, they have
A
cookies.
cookie. If I'm gonna pick a cookie, what I really want is like a white chocolate macadamia nut cookie.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I love macadamia nuts.
Yeah.
So much that I went to Hawaii just so I could go to the
Just for
macadamia
that?
nut farm. Well, that too. Yeah, and the weather.
You guys, you girls, you entertaintresses, all do these really successful brunches. We're talking about food, but you do these successful brunches, which are of course centered around food.
Yeah.
At least for the guests.
And I think it goes so well with like the people that we're entertaining because it's the girls that I used to party with back in the day that, that probably, well, now they have kids and they can't go out late night to the clubs and all that stuff, but they're like, they can throw money at me, during brunch hours.
I love that.
I'll take their Republican money and be like, woohoo. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right. How's your husband doing? Great. Awesome. Is he single? Let's have some fun. And we have so much fun because we can use all of our, stand up and our jokes and talk about old days and they have good jobs, so they can throw stacks of dollar bills and they want to live their fantasy of being like, woo, make it rain on the queens,
Ah, God, I wish I could off one of the other, not you, but one of the other girls, and then just go there and live there and work in that circuit. It's
You're welcome.
So amazing.
You're welcome to come and
Who can
do
we
it.
kill first, though?
Oh, Kasha Davis.
Kasha Davis.
Yeah,
I think she's
yeah.
got other
so-
opportunities going on.
Well, what they say is he cut the head off the dragon, and
Right.
then it's like she's sort of like the head of the dragon. She's the go-getter. She's so amazing at what she does, which is make people hate her. No, I'm just kidding. No, she's so amazing at what she does and like really putting things together. She's so ambitious, and like I'm always trying to like pull some of that, out of her and stuff, and to add to my own personality. So yeah, and so yeah, I guess we can. She's also so giving as well.
Yeah.
She was talking to another girl who wanted to come, and she's like, I can take the night off, and you can do this or whatever, and
No.
yeah.
I wouldn't take a night off.
Right.
Fuck off. Fuck off. I'm taking a night. Not when it's that successful.
Yeah.
Get your own shit. No, Kasha was here and we were talking about, I was like, girl, you need to like, you could take this like nationally.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
like there's so many people around here.
Yeah.
Find people that, and I'm sure I say this like it's so easy, but the quality control I think is the hardest part because you can't be there, and you would want to say what we do in Rochester or anywhere in that area, we want to see replicated to that same level, that quality, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not people who are just looking for a gig, people that are looking to make it like show the passion and show the respect for the audience. And I think that would be amazing.
Yeah. And those personalities that really mesh well together and stuff. And so like we were working at a club in Rochester, and then the owners decided to open one in Fort Lauderdale. And when they hired their cast, we were like, oh, that's a Darienne, that's an Ambrosia, that's a Kasha, that's a, and so it's like they wanted to put together that team of people who work well together. And it's like the Golden Girls or the Sex and the City or the, or the Delta or the, whatever show
Designing Women.
Designing Women,
all
yes.
of them, yeah.
Sometimes I have brain farts. It's really...
Sometimes I just fart.
Yeah.
I've been doing that the whole time. I wasn't sure if you noticed.
I was like, you always smell fantastic.
Okay.
Always.
So it's that.
I know you love your perfumes.
I do.
She does.
Let's take a break.
Get ready to really Delta Roots.
And we are back with Darienne Lake, who's just talking about Virginia and homeowning and just all these different things. It all fits together. If you really read through the lines, it's hilarious. Yeah. This is the part of the podcast where we read letters. Read me, Delta! People send in letters asking for advice or make observations. I usually say when these people send these letters, if they want to send a letter and they want to send like questions or observations, to save the comments, because we already see enough of that in the comment section that we try not to respond to, at least on my Instagram. I try not to, but I try to respond to, like, if I'm on, I'll respond to a few comments, but then like I've learned something, and that is if I make time to respond to all the people saying ugly shit, all these other people that I'm not responding to that are saying really nice shit, which is always the majority.
Yeah.
Why don't they deserve something nice? You know what I mean? Like they took the time to say something nice to me.
I usually block and move on. And the funny thing is like, because, I'm like, sometimes I'm like, oh, I want to fucking go off on somebody. Somebody recently sent me a message and she goes, about 8 years ago, I sent some hateful stuff to you and all that stuff or whatever. And you blocked me, but I was 13 years old. And I'm like, if I would have went off on this 13-year-old and told her like, go jump into traffic or gave her steps on how to kill herself, right? But like, it's like, yeah, they're young and they're stupid. And I'm just like, let's block and move on. And she goes, you blocked me and every right you had to, but I just want to say sorry and all that stuff. So I said, of course, forgive and forget. Bitch.
You weak bitch.
But then I did get a telegram.
You should have fucking read her ass.
Yeah, right? I got a telegram today. It said, Delta work, stop.
I was going to say, I think the Delta Lake would have like probably would have not said anything and then would have went off on a stranger and then would have felt bad about it and then would have like, I don't know, ate her feelings or something and then like cried about it and then pontificated and extemporaneously spoke.
Yes, absolutely. Extemporaneously.
And then shit herself. All of that would happen in one. Okay, letter.
Yes.
I always forget. I start.
Are you gonna do like Johnny Carson and like predict what it says beforehand? I could be your Ed McMahon.
Let's see. I won't, but let me think. This is probably going to be about
Drew Barrymore.
Cats.
Cat. Oh,
I'll say it's going to be about cats.
I love my cat, my smushies.
You do have a really beautiful cat.
I rescued her.
You breastfeed her.
Yes, I breastfeed her.
Listen to this one. Dear Ms. Work and fascinating guest, I'm a huge fan and longtime listener of your podcast from Manchester, UK. The show is the perfect way to start the week, and I always look forward to getting Very Delta every Monday whenever I listen to podcasts. I'm writing to ask you if you can enlighten me as to why, when I go to restaurants with people, they feel the need to comment on what I order. Just this year, comments were made that include, that's a lot of mayonnaise, or tap water, you're really pushing the boat out, or, wow, you're ordering dessert. We all, of course, make judgments about what other people are doing around us. Why do people feel the need to say them out loud when it comes to food? Last I checked, I was the only person eating what I order, and I'm the only one who's going to be digesting it. Do you have any similar experiences and or suggestions about how I should deal with this behavior? Thank you very much for your time. I understand how valuable it is. Yours faithfully, Adam. I do have an experience with this, and I have to tell you, like, I sometimes I spill tea about like family members, and I think that they are not on the realm to listen to this podcast, and I don't think they do. But I think that sometimes they're like, I have family members that are aware of what I do, but I think they intrinsically know, like, I probably should not listen to this because this is going to be a type of realm. So anyway, I have a family member who likes to do something like maybe they're going to be bringing over like burgers and fries, like because we had a painting party or anything like that, where they're going to be ordering like kind of like the same food. Like, I just ordered cheeseburgers and fries, everybody go for it. And what they'll do is they'll pop in a salad and they'll go, I got this for you because I'm helping you.
Oh God,
I'm helping you. And I always think I want to go off. But again, it's one of those situations where I go, thank you so much. That is so thoughtful. I do love a salad. I hope you got my favorite dressing. And I just kind of push it to the side and like dismiss myself. But I also have someone in my family who doesn't do it to me. They just do it in general. They did stop, but they used to at the holidays when there would be like the whole sort of island of food that people would bring over. Like, I brought snickerdoodles and I brought this and that. There would always be pounds and pounds of C's candy. And they would open it up and they would take a knife and they would cut it in 3. Because they said, nobody needs to eat a full piece of candy.
Fuck.
I mean, I need to eat the full first layer of the box.
Exactly.
Like, come on. Like,
it's like these fun-sized candy. That's not fun to me.
It's not.
That's
it's
not
rude.
Fun. Who is that? Oh my! I've snorted more than that at the time. So I'm.
Have you ever had anybody that like sort of like observes, or especially
absolutely all the time? People. Oh my yeah.
Especially if somebody thinks that you are embarking on whether you call it a diet or a change of eating, or I'm no longer drinking. I'm no longer drinking beer.
Oh, you should be eating that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is that in your diet? Oh,
come on.
That all the time. Yeah. And then even like,
Ew.
I was at the salon and I'm sitting there eating a salad and, we don't have like a break room or anything. And someone goes, oh, that looks good. I'm like, it does not. It's a fucking salad. I'm like, I'm hating
not.
this. No, it doesn't, you stupid bitch. This is horrible. But I'm just eating it so I can shit regularly today.
Right.
So like, yeah, people will comment about everything. Oh, is that on your low carb diet or is that on your, no, it's not.
God.
It's not. But it's going in my fucking mouth because I'm hungry.
Well, and I think a lot of, again, certainly not an expert, not even an amateur, but I mean, just from living a life where I have obviously been a member of Weight Watchers, tried Herbalife, done all these different things. People don't realize that, especially when you have a significant amount of weight to lose or have already lost, this has to be a life change where you're like, no, I'm not saying I'm never going to have that again. I'm saying I'm not going to regularly have that. Yeah. And when I have it, I'm aware of what I'm having. I don't need somebody to go like, I'm not looking around going, twist my arm and tell me not to have it. Like, pinch me.
Like, get these chips away from me.
Yeah, I know what it is. And if it's 4th of July and I'm having this, it's because I'm having this. I don't need.
Yeah. If I'm going to a nice restaurant and I want to grab a second piece of bread from the bread basket, I'm fucking going to do it.
Second.
Right.
Just 2?
Just 2.
You crossed over. I knew this was going to happen.
How many have you had?
You crossed over.
Yeah.
I need like, Evan was here, Evan Ross Katz, and we said that we're not supposed to talk about how much bread people eat.
Yeah. Okay.
You just told us 2.
Sorry. No, I was trying to sound like I don't eat much bread, but
but honey, you know what I mean?
What do they say? Like, I eat so many carbs that when I sweat, I starch my shirts.
Fuck. That's a lot. But it's just so weird. I think that people too, I'm gonna go back to this letter because I have no retention. Yes. Adam, I feel like there are people that, especially when they think if you just changed for a second, if you were like, you know what, this month, or you say, I'm gonna quit smoking. Maybe you say I'm gonna quit smoking, and you're like, I'm lessening it, and then somebody sees you and they're like, oh, I guess you're not doing that anymore, and you're like, you know what, I've been doing it a lot less and I have a way that I'm doing it. Or like you said, you meet with your trainer and your trainer, like there's that thing where you have to go to your trainer. Your trainer's like, I know you're a person.
Yeah.
You know you're a human being. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think that you have to have this done by July or else I'm not going to talk to you anymore.
And then people will sit there and be like, oh, how's it? Are you still losing weight? Are you still doing this? Are you still doing like, none of your fucking business, really.
None of your business. And also everybody that does, like everybody that is a fitness person is like, okay, I'm a fitness person. I do this for a living and this is my life devotion.
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing it forever.
Yeah. And also, I don't know if you've heard about reverse dieting, but reverse dieting is because you cannot stay in a calorie deficit for too long that you now let your metabolism catch up, and then you have to eat a little bit more calories than before. And you will gain a little bit before because you have to have everything catch back up again. And I'm like, now I have to reverse diet as well as regular diet. And like, this is why so many people give up and they're like, I've lost hope. But like, yeah, and it's like, now you have to do these things. And like, so when I am not eating the salad and I'm having a full sandwich, don't talk to me. Just don't talk to me. When Yeah.
Did you ever do Weight Watchers?
Oh, did Weight Watchers? I did Richard Simmons' Deal-A-Meal where you move the cards over and stuff. Yeah. I've done all of them. I've done Nutrisystem where you get the prepackaged meals and stuff. And, oh God, yeah.
I can remember when, you know, the Weight Watchers program, which I guess is like, you know, it's always been a very successful program and it's based on, you know, just eating a healthy balance.
Right.
But they always had different programs. Like every year it would be like Easy Flex is this year. And then the next year it was like, Points to Freedom. And like, it's always like a different name, but I guess the science keeps changing. So they try to change with the science, I guess.
Right. But really it's thermodynamics of the body of like, you know, calories in, calories out, whatever gets you there. When I was doing the Atkins diet, I was being really successful because I got to a point where I was so fucking bored of anything that I was like, more meat, more cheese, more like celery, no thanks, you know? Ugh.
Right.
So I was just, then I started eating less because of it. But I got to the point where I sort of was treating food like an allergy, like, oh, I can't eat that, it has too much of this. I can't do that. So it was restrictive, but it was working for me. But once you go off of it, you gain weight. But no matter what it is, once you go off of it, you're going to go back to your ways.
What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. You know, so.
Why does it have to be so hard?
I like it hard.
Oh my God. See, this is why we can't bring you around.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Dear Divas, I live in the suburbs out of the way. It takes about an hour by train to get to work downtown. Don't judge, but throughout the day, I use my grinder to check who's around me. Why would we judge you? The guys downtown are cute and trade, way better than the 5 same men I keep seeing near my house in the suburbs. However, I can never meet anyone after work because I am undouched. As a hungry bottom, there is no point in meeting someone on Grindr if there is no anal intercourse, for me personally. You can therefore guess my issue. I need to find a safe spot away from home to douche. I've done it once at work after I thought everyone had left, but then the CEO, it's a small startup, walked in and I'm pretty sure he thought I had a severe case of diarrhea. I've considered going to the mall, at least it would be more anonymous, but I don't know if it's appropriate. A Grindr hookup wanted me to douche at his home, but I don't feel comfortable. Ugh, it feels like I'm wasting my best bottoming years. Rent is too expensive downtown and I don't have the money for a car. Any ideas? Thank you, my loves, and keep slaying the podcast game. Ken. Ken. Well, Ken, I know that you say that you don't have the money for a car, which, you know, that's expensive. It is expensive. I have a car. You have a car.
I do.
We have cars. We're women of a certain age and a certain resource. But I can remember not having a car younger. But I would say that if you are moving into this place where you want to have anal sex with someone and you want to be sure that there's not going to be any kind of accident that you're uncomfortable with, I would say you're probably better off doing this cleaning process at that person's home.
Freckle the toilet. Yeah.
Than at your job. Like, I'm just going to say, like, I would think that in your mind, you would say, I'm going to have to make some concessions here. I can't do it at home. Okay, what are my next options? Well, this person is going to push part of their body inside of mine, and they really want to do this, and I really want them to do it. I'm going to just have to suck it up, no pun intended, and use their bathroom and their shower. Because listen, you can't just use the toilet. Like, you're going to need to like also take a shower afterwards because, I mean, I don't know how big your asshole is, but I feel like you might want to cut that because that looks like a white power symbol. Be sure to cut that. But however big your asshole is, like, there's going to be some backsplash of water. And I just don't think that like a piece of toilet paper or a wipey is going to do. You're going to want to go back in and be sure that you're fully clean.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would do it at
your
work,
job. You would do it at your job?
Why not? Because,
Have you?
Well, if you hate your job, you might as well be like, well, fuck this, I'm going to freckle your toilet and I don't give a shit and whatever.
Well, fortunately, you don't have to worry about this.
Right. But no, not at all. And sometimes I'm like, hey, if the field's a little muddy, we can still play ball. Sports reference. That's disgusting. I apologize.
That's Darienne Lake.
Yes.
Darienne Lake who said that.
Yes.
Not Delta Lake and not Delta Work. That's Darienne Lake.
If you would like my mom's phone number, you can call her for raising me so horribly, So
listen, they're just gonna have to accept it, I think.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to if you're gonna get familiar enough to let somebody put their DNA inside of you, or even if they're using a condom, it's not their DNA, but you get it. You get what I'm saying. Please don't go to Sbarro in the mall and try to like douche. Yeah. That's gross. Like don't think for a second that you're going to have to be embarrassed to do it at their house. They're fucking you.
Yeah.
They are putting their penis in your rectum, pulling it out, pushing it back in, pulling it out, pushing it back in, pulling it out, pushing it back in. Pulling it out, pushing it back in until I don't know what happens. They blast you full of tapioca and you're fucking worried about douching in their bathroom. You're doing them a favor as well as yourself. Clean your ass out at their house. Please do not feel bad. Don't feel bad, baby. No. I'm happy that you are cleaning out. I think it's super important. But baby,
yes,
that's the least they could do. I would say too, I mean, if you can look on Travelocity or whatever the sites, you can get a hotel room. Sometimes they're not expensive. Maybe if you're, I don't know, a member, a Wyndham Rewards member, are you? If you are, you can go there, you can get yourself a room and you can have a romp and maybe you can, I don't know.
Yeah.
What if it ends up not being worth it?
Yeah, for sure. And just enjoy it, have fun, just go crazy, get dirty. Yeah. Become an elementary school and let him shoot kids inside you.
Oh, here we go. See what I mean? You see what I mean? Wait, have you ever, I'm not talking about douching. I'm just talking about a general, like, I'm going to meet this person. And like, you kind of built it up in your mind that like, this is going to be a wonderful escapade. And you were like, this is so awful. It's not even going to start. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because sometimes, I mean, even just when you start to maybe blow them or whatever, and then you're like, nope.
I can't do it.
Nope.
I can't risk it.
Yeah.
This is boring, right?
Yeah, that's why I usually set an alarm on my phone to go off anyway. And I'm like, oh, I got to grab that. Oh, I got to go. Yeah. Yeah. So I've got that out. Or I can just turn it off. Oh, let me just silence my phone. If it's going well, let me just silence my phone.
Yeah.
But if it's not, that Timba starts playing and it's time for you to go.
Douching at work and in the mall or something?
Well, I don't work in a mall, so.
Have you ever worked in a mall?
I have, yeah. I worked at
we built the
store.
Malls.
Yeah.
We are people of a certain age. We built the malls. Do you follow this account on Instagram called Mark? What is it called? No, like for the love of. Do you follow Luxury Department Store?
No, please put that on my phone.
You have to. It's just pictures of malls. In fact, I just talked to the proprietor of the account and they said to me, like, we had a conversation about working in the mall and I worked for a long time in like department store, which here on the West Coast, we for a time had the May Company and then we had Robinsons. Okay. And then they became Robinsons May. But like on the East Coast, Filene's. Okay. So we would get people that would bring in like our Filene's. I don't know how it's pronounced.
Basement.
They would bring in that placard and they would be able to purchase because it's the same company. Yeah. Hex, Hecht apostrophe. Hecht. I'm not saying it right.
Hecht. German. I don't know.
I don't know what it is, but there's a million of them. I mean, I remember working in the department store. People would bring in a charger plate that was like that long and thin, old, and we would have to like lay it in the machine. And if it didn't go, you'd have to use the pencil.
Yeah.
Remember that shit?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
That was good taste.
Yeah. Wait, you mentioned your cat earlier.
Oh yeah.
Tell us about your cat.
My cat. So during 2020, I was completely alone and all that stuff. I had a roommate. He moved out in 2019, bought a house, all that. And so when the pandemic hit, I was like, I think I could probably get a cat. I'm not touring as much. And so I was looking around. Luckily, everybody was so inspired to adopt animals during the pandemic that all the shelters were gone. So I was talking to some people who were like rescuing like feral cats and stuff. And then my roommate had gotten a kitten from a woman, and she was getting rid of all of her cats because sadly she was dying. And so she was dying of ovarian cancer, and she had this cat named Kimosabi.
Goodbye. You wrote this joke.
No, swear to God. No, this is
You're such a liar. I swear.
This is 100% a true story. And so she was 4 years old, and her name was Kimosabi, like little friend from, Lone Ranger and everything. And so I was like, well, I loved her, and she's like, yeah, I'll let you take her for $150. And so she came to live with me, and I changed her name to Smushy because she has a little smushy face. Mm-hmm. And because I was not going to call her Chemo. And especially in June of 2020, I also was diagnosed with melanoma, skin cancer, and had to have that taken out, and I have a big scar like on my leg and and scar in my groin area. For where they took lymph nodes to make sure it didn't spread. Luckily, nothing spread, but I'm still getting checked and all that stuff.
Well, you don't spread. I mean, you've already said that too.
Yeah.
You know
so,
what I mean?
Like a cancer. And so...
And you never thought of getting another cat named Melanie Oma?
Melanie, no.
Why?
I know. I don't know. I did not think of that.
One's enough.
Yeah.
One's enough.
Yeah. So she's the love of my life, and she's so sweet and so lovely. And she's... unlike me in the way she is not food motivated at all. She doesn't care. She's like, food will be in her bowl and she'll take it. I'll try and give her wet food. She's like, no, I'm fine.
My cats don't like wet food either for some reason.
Yeah, I'm cool. Yeah. So she loves her playtime, her cuddle time, and her alone time. So she's like me. So
I mean, that's important. You have to have that, especially when you're really busy. I mean, you are a busy person. You're obviously here in town doing a few things. And
I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's good. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. It was my first and only stop that I'd really ever want to do.
Oh,
it was like my first thought when I came out here.
This is so fun. I love this. I appreciate you being here.
I know. I wish there could be like more of it. And
Yeah, we could talk more about these names. I think we could come up with some really good drag names based around Melanie Oma and Chemo Sabi.
Yeah.
We could just be cruel.
Absolutely.
Without the intention of hurting people.
Why?
Just making fun.
Sometimes people can be hurt. It's fine. It's okay.
Fine.
You have to go through the hurt to realize
we've
the
been
joy
hurt.
Yes.
We've been hurt.
Who hurt you? I'm like, who
and you're
hasn't?
Gonna feel the pain too.
When people say that all the time, who hurt you? I'm like, everybody.
Every fucking buddy.
Everybody hurt me.
Yeah. What's racist? Everything is racist.
It's true.
Everything is homophobic.
Mm-hmm.
You all fucking
fatphobic.
Suck.
Yeah. That's the only reason why I decided to lose weight, because I wanted people to treat me nice.
Right, because you wanted to be fatphobic.
I did. But I
mean,
will
we're
always
homophobic,
be,
so we're on our way.
I mean, please, I'm still 290 pounds or whatever, so I'm still a heavy person. I will always be. So,
it's so interesting. Again, going back to it, it's like people always. It kills me because when you say it, I know people still say it, and they I don't know what they expect you to fucking say back when they're like, "Oh, are you still on this? Are you still? Are you sure you can eat that?" It's like, why do you own me to ask me that? Mm-hmm. What am I supposed to give you? You've already made a decision to do something for yourself, and then it's just. I mean, listen, the red light's on. I could be talking about this forever, like with the Madonna people forever. I love Madonna. I love Madonna. I love Madonna. And then all of a sudden, Madonna doesn't look as good as this other person who's close to her age. Well, fuck off.
Yeah.
She doesn't owe you to look like anything. Or whoever the fucking these people are, they don't owe you to look like whatever. You don't owe somebody to give them an update on your fucking weight loss and where you're going to stop and where you're going to start and why this girl should do it and why that person shouldn't do it. Oh my God, it's exhausting.
Yeah. If you want to do it, do it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Who cares?
I just want to become one with the couch under ice cream. What if I did that? Would you be there if they had to bang the wall out and bring me out?
Absolutely, 100%. Me and Richard Simmons crying right next to each other.
Would?
Yeah, 100%.
You're like, are you still doing that?
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, can I have that outfit of yours?
No,
is
I need new curtains.
Hey, that ring that you had, can I? Yeah.
Can I wear that as a necklace? Thank you so much for being here. Thank everyone for listening to Very Delta and watching on YouTube. You can now search for Very Delta on your podcast apps. We come out every Monday. And you can also find us right here on the Mom Podcast YouTube channel. Special hello to everyone watching the show on YouTube. Thank you so much for the love and the support and the comments and, all of it. Actually, I've been on there and I've commented when it goes live at midnight and I try to engage and people are like, oh, sick. Who is that? You don't even talk to me. I'm even on there with my real name, Delta Work, and you don't even talk to me. That's okay. It doesn't matter. You can just keep the comments coming, even if they're shitty. I don't want them shitty, but sometimes people make observations. Maybe you don't like me in a red wig. That's fine. I like me in a red wig.
I love you.
Stop fat shaming people. Stop asking people what they're eating. Also, you know what's very Delta? Subscribing to Mom Podcast so you don't miss an episode. We want you to send all of your correspondence to readmedelta@gmail.com. Also, you can follow me on Instagram at DeltaWork. And now we have dedicated socials for the show at Very Delta on Instagram and on TikTok. You can get clips and updates. And you can join me and Darienne, both not just on Instagram, but where else can they find you?
Anywhere. You can find me on TikTok, Miss Lake. She's on there. Snapchat, snap me or something like that.
Do you do Twitter?
I do Twitter. Yeah, I still love Twitter. I miss you over on Facebook as well.
I know it's been
but you know
forever.
what? I get my fix everywhere else.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I
love when people also repost your stuff as well.
People are wild. The shit they can do. I wish I knew how to do that stuff.
Me too. I'm not.
They'll like
smart
put
enough.
airplanes and stuff, and they'll like, and it makes it even funnier because I'm like, this is taken out of context, but it makes even better context of what you're doing. It's so fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much. Join me next week right here for another episode of Very Delta. And until then, keep things very, very Delta.
Next episode. Perra es April Carrión.
Are you wearing pasties under this right now?
No, these
You're
are
not?
my full breasts.
Okay, because I know that you wear pasties a lot for
Sí,
stuff.
sí. Yeah.
What do you have any advice for people who are first time pasty wearers?
Mira, it's not gonna be. It's gonna hurt.
This episode of Very Delta was brought to you by Orange Diamond, the official emoji of the Very Delta show.
To listen to Very Delta one day early and ad-free, sign up for Mom Plus at mompodcasts.plus. Very Delta is produced by Moguls of Media, aka Mom. Hosted by Delta Work and produced by Mark Jacobs. Engineered by Margot Padilla and editing by Doug Robertson. Executive produced by Willem Belli, Alaska Thunderfuck, Big Dipper, and Joe Cilio.